With the news of Grand Theft Auto 6, there are millions and millions of people waiting in anticipation for the trailer that will be released this December. And while I was scrolling through a lot of the videos from popular content creators like TGG, and obviously GTA Men looking at the release dates and all their speculative information, my favorite comment that I have read on all the videos, which was one of the top comments, is "Rip to all the fallen homies while waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. And that got me thinking, how many people that have played Grand Theft Auto 5 have died waiting for the release of Grand Theft Auto 6? And that is exactly what we'll be breaking into for today's video. First of all, we need to figure out how many people have bought and played Grand Theft Auto. We can see in an article by IGN, this was November 7th, 2022. During Take-Two Interactive's quarterly earnings call, the company's investor presentation revealed sales numbers for both series. As a franchise, Grand Theft Auto has sold more than 385 million units, with 170 million of those being attributed to Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, this was over a year ago at the time this article was released. So taking a look at a website like Statistica, this is actually pretty close to the numbers that we can see. November 22, we can see 170 million, right at the mark that the Rockstar company has said, Take-Two. So taking a look at what the numbers look like in November of 2023, we're looking upwards of 190 million units of Grand Theft Auto 5, which have been sold. That is absolutely insane when you think about it. 190 people have bought Grand Theft Auto 5. Before you go into my comment section and type, well, actually, it's not 190 million people that have bought Grand Theft Auto, because some people might buy a second copy. In fact, myself has owned upwards of like 3 or 4 different versions of GTA. I originally played on the Xbox 360, had it there, then I purchased it for the Xbox One, and then I purchased it for my Epic's Games account so I could do my Broke to Billion series, and I have it on Steam. So yeah, I have 4 different versions of GTA that I have purchased, which is obviously going to that grand total of 190 million. So to be conservative, I'm going to subtract 20 million copies from 190 mil to 170 million. There might be more, but at the same time, there's also people that have had access to the Epic Games Launcher version for free. If you played it during a certain time period, you could have downloaded it for free. You also can download the game on the next generation consoles for free. So because of that, we're going to leave it at a nice, crisp 170 million copies. Okay, so we have a ballpark estimate of how many people have purchased Grand Theft Auto 5. But now we need to figure out the average age demographic for the game. And what I have guessed from when the game was first released is 16 to 30 years old. This would make sense in my eyes because of the fact that obviously people in college were the most known demographic to purchasing GTA. I remember when I was very young and Grand Theft Auto 5 had just come out and all of my college cousins had purchased the game and known about it. So it was very popular, I would say within 16 years old to 30 years old. I would say that's a pretty good demographic. I can't imagine the average 40 or 50-year-old was going over to GameStop to play Grand Theft Auto 5. Yes, there might be some exceptions, but for the most part, we're going to guess that the average players were between the age of 16 and 30. So let's assume that the average age of players who bought GTA was right around 23 years, the midpoint of 16 to 30. We're considering a 10-year time period following the purchase of the game. So yes, again, there are some discrepancies between math here. Some of these purchase copies were later. Obviously, not everybody purchased GTA within the first year or two, but judging that GTA 6 isn't even released yet, and it might be another year or even 2 before the game is out, we're just going to say that it's a 10-year period following the purchase of the game. So now we arrive to the hard part. We need to get global life expectancy. Global life expectancy figures vary widely, but for this exercise, we'll use a simplified approach. The World Health Organization reported a global life average expectancy of around 72 years as of 2016. This is a very rough average, as life expectancy can be significantly higher or lower in different countries. And we also need to figure out the mortality rate for the age group. Young adults in the age range of 16 to 30 generally have a low mortality rate. For example, in the United States, the death rate for people aged 20 to 24 was around 79.5 per 100,000 in 2017, and for those aged 25 to 34, it was about 128 per 100,000. However, once again, these rates can greatly vary based on location, lifestyle, health conditions, and other factors. Given these variables, let's do a very rough and hypothetical calculation. Assume a low mortality rate given the young age group. Let's estimate speculatively around 100 deaths per 100,000 people worldwide. This is an arbitrary figure for the sake of this calculation. It does not reflect any specific statistical data. In 10 years, this would equate to approximately 1,000 deaths per 100,000 people. So, Grand Theft Auto 5 has sold over 170 million copies. If 1,000 out of every 100,000 people in this population passed away over 10 years, that would be 0.01% of 107 million. So, hypothetically, around 1.7 million of the original players might have passed away in a 10-year period. Because of the fact not everybody purchased GTA 5 when it was first released, let's be generous and subtract about half of the overall total deaths. So instead of 1.7 million people, let's say it's closer to around 1 million people. If we were to add on the COVID deaths, because, oh yeah, that wasn't a very fun time period, I'd be willing to wager that at least 1 million of the original players in Grand Theft Auto 5 have unfortunately not made it to see the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. It's kind of insane when you think about that. It's honestly kind of scary when you think about it. And I think the scariest part is that we still don't know when Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be released. All we know right now is that there is a trailer for the game that will be released sometime in December. People like TGG are saying December 1st. I have absolutely no clue. And it still might be another year before Grand Theft Auto 6 is even released. That's the craziest part to me. So that's absolutely insane that we have lost 1 million gamers just to time itself before the next game has been released in this series. I can't even think of how long it'll take for GTA 7. If there is a GTA 7, I'll probably be about 80 years old by the time it does finally get out. But either way, I just thought this would be a fun video and topic to talk about, just because it really is kind of insane when you think about it. Hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like this, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.